Good afternoon and welcome to this GotSafety training webinar. I am Rick Roman and today I'm sitting with
Steve Crawley.
Steve Crawley. And no, in case you were wondering, Michael did not shave his beard and glue it to his head. This is his brother. He works with us here. He's in charge of the technology division and really rounding up all of this stuff here with the GotSafety and just kind of ordering around all the Oompa Loompas in the backs.
Every Loompa and Oompa, Rick. Very nice. Listen, I'm great to be here. We missed Michael Crawley. He's the president. Michael Crawley is the president of EAP and is not here today only because I'm going to walk you through how to not only add employees, but I'm also going to walk you through on how we're going to go through the forms builder, how we're going to create a form, what things to do, some tips and tricks. So I think that'll be rather exciting, Rick.
And of course, we're going to answer all of your questions. And remember, Steve, at the end here, we, as always, are going to give away a great Green Mountain Grill smoker.
Oh, my gosh. Let me tell you, if you've not smoked on the Green Mountain Grill smoker, you don't know what smoking is.
That's right.
Now, Rick, does all this meat come with the Green Mountain Grill smoker?
Well, unfortunately, Steve, it does not come with the meat, but it does come with a bag of pellets, and the smoker is ready to plug in, very simple to set up, and all you need to do is go to the grocery store, and you're ready to go.
Oh, my gosh. Take it camping, take it anywhere portable. Plugs into your cigarette lighter, this smoker does, but very exciting, right?
Just remember, though, when we do get to the trivia question, that you must call our 800 number. You might want to write it down now. It's 800-734-3574. You might want to write that down so that you can call us with the answer. Answers coming over the internet are not going to be accepted. Steve, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Now, Rick, give me that number one more time.
800-734-3574.
Okay. All right. Now, everybody, I hope you got a pen and pencil in hand. If you have questions, again, please put them on the
in the chat.
In the chat, there you go. But what we're going to do first is we're going to go through how to load an employee.
That's the first thing they got to do to even get started, right?
You can't do safety training sign-offs without it. We can't do much of anything without it.
Really, forms, you can't do it.
Absolutely not. Very important. So first thing we're going to do is log into, which I've already done on the screen here. We're going to log into our client admin. That client admin is on GotSafety.com. It's under admin. Hit that button. You administrators out there know your passwords. Once you log in, you will see a choice right here under employee management. I'm going to take you first to add a single employee. Now this could very well be a great option for putting in 1 to 4, even 10 employees. Sure. It's real simple. The requirement for this is an employee name and number or ID.
Yes.
The reason is, Rick, can you guess why we need an employee ID?
Well, some companies just might happen to have 2 Joe Floreses working for them or 2 Bob Smiths. And so that they can identify themselves aside from their name that's going to pop up, they can see their employee number and make sure that they're popping on the right guy each and every time that they do their training.
Absolutely. So, Rick, with that in mind, I'm just going to key in a name here. I'm going to key in Kim, and I'm going to key in Kim Crawley.
Oh, you're under the ID number.
Oh, I'm into the number. Sorry, Rick. Sorry, of course. Forgive me. Thank you for watching me. So first off, know this, it puts it in exactly as you type it. If you put lowercase in, it actually puts it in lowercase. So I'm going to key it in like this, and then the ID I'm going to get now. This ID field is alphanumeric. It also accepts hyphens and dashes. So yes. For instance, if we were to try to denote a location, you could use lettering to denote a location if need be of this employee. For our benefit, Rick, I'm only going to use 4 ones in a row, just so that we have something in there for her. Now, I'm going to hit active. Now, there's going to be a reason for that very soon that I'll show you. I'm going to say save. What that does now is it actually loads Kim into our database. Now, if you'll notice here, I'm going to hit the name sort on the name that it did it backwards. There it is. I'm going to go down and look for Kim Crawley. There she is right here. Now, the reason why this is important is that if in any time Kim, as you can see, is active, at any time Kim is a temporary employee, maybe a seasonal worker, maybe she's not with us all the time, she's here and there, but with the number of employees going through, sorting through people's names can be somewhat of a challenge. I can actually go in here, and here it comes. Sorry about that. That finger is real side. That active button, I can actually deselect it and save. That does not delete Kim, right?
Right. So the big difference is if you delete Kim, you're going to lose all the records that you have, training records for Kim.
Absolutely.
So
right.
you might want to deactivate. If Kim's never coming back, what you might want to do is go in and Steve, in another training, will show you how to manage your training records, but you would want to go in and maybe print all of Kim's records and put them in her file. Then you could delete her. But if she's coming back, you just want to inactivate her.
Absolutely. Now, one of the other reasons is if she left here, but still you want to keep her training records for a certain period of time, that inactive doesn't kill her training records, as you said.
Right.
Now, deleting will wipe out everything, but keeping her here and inactivating her or deactivating her allows you to still replace her employee. Now, because all of our accounts in GotSafety are based on employees or numbers of employees, inactivating her off the account actually allows you to add an employee without going over your limit.
And you can see that right up there. Yes.
Right up here, it says active employees. Inactive is 4. So that is a real benefit to the companies. So in case they have seasonal people, they don't need to take up room that they may need for regular folks.
And remember, if you are on EEAP services, you actually have unlimited clients. You're seeing here 100, and if you happen to be over 100, you do have unlimited, but for the purpose of this demonstration,
absolutely,
it shows a limit of 100.
You're absolutely right, Rick. So with that in mind, it could be any amount, but you get the gist of it. Now, for those companies who are starting out with us, or even for companies that have been with us kind of moving over from EEAP, a bulk load is optional. So you can actually use the bulk load option, and what it does is allows you to open up our sample CSV file in Excel. That sample CSV file will allow you to key in the name, or you can download it into the name. Once that CSV file is done, you'll come over to browse. You will browse that for that CSV file, upload it. You can upload 50, 100, 300, 3,000 people at the same time.
And it is so simple. You're just putting in their first and last name in field A, and then their employee number in field B, and down the line you go.
So if or column A and column A. The bottom line for us is most payroll systems and most other systems have an export of employee names.
Yes.
And here's the point, if your people don't have employee numbers as of right now, please give them one.
Create your own system.
Create your own system. The bottom line is, it is for identification purposes. With so many Bob Smiths that are out there, we want to make sure that the right Bob Smith signs off.
Exactly.
And that's how we do it with an employee.
And I do believe, Steve, when they do use the CSVs, you don't want to start a number that starts with a 0, because I think the CSV file might delete that. So you might need to be careful with that.
Absolutely not. Good morning, Rick. Very good warning. All right. With that in mind, adding employees is very simple. Very simple indeed. And once you get to the management of the employees, we can do a sort on name, employee ID. We can also sort out active and inactives, and you'll know that we can also do an action here. With that in mind,
that's where you reactivate or deactivate.
Absolutely right. I can activate or deactivate. So with that in mind, Rick, adding employees should be simple. And by the way, should be a short part of our admin experience.
Exactly.
You're not going to be. You may add 1 employee, 2 employees, every couple of days, even the most busiest of companies. So the benefit for you is keep on top of it. If you have too many employees that don't work for you anymore, please, I would suggest just inactivating them for now. Doesn't penalize you at all, and nobody here is hurt by using up a few more rooms and storage.
Exactly.
So go ahead. Anything else, Rick?
No, I was going to say we're ready to bring the phone over and go over to the form building.
Absolutely right.
Show everybody here.
Everybody, what we joined here for, what we're going to do is this. I'm going to bring over that nice little phone. What that phone is going to do for us is, as I describe how to create a form, Rick Roman on his mobile device is going to show you what that form looks like, how the buttons are actually viewed from a mobile device. That way you're able to get a real good view from not only the desktop here with me, but on this phone with Rick. So Rick, I appreciate your help with that.
Yes.
All right, so let's go right into it. So I'm going to enter in from forms. I'm going to go right into our forms builder. Obviously, you've got to log into admin to do this, but from forms to forms builder, you'll notice you'll go in here. Now, any form.
Well, a note here is that currently the app comes with some standard forms on it. The standard forms do not show in your form builder. This is just the forms that you have built yourself.
Thank you, Rick. That's a great point. We have 4 standard forms that are there. They were there since the beginning. You're welcome to use them. But what we really want you to do is to create your own custom forms. There are a couple of beauties of doing your own custom forms. It has your own logo at the top. Yet the forms can actually be laid out with all your unique information. Our standard forms couldn't possibly take into account all of the variety of variables that are in everyone's individual business.
Yes, and the different needs. I mean, you can use these forms from anything to do in a forklift inspection, vehicle inspections, tools, job site analysis, safety write-ups. I mean, anything you can imagine, really, you can create your form here.
Absolutely.
Steve's going to show you how to do it.
You better believe it. So first thing we want to do is obviously click the new button. That new will bring up the first field. Our first field says, hey, I want, what is the name? Or sorry, what is the first of all, this is the form name. This is the name that's going to appear right here in our list. It's also the name that's going to appear on our phone right down here. And I'm just going to type in that name right now.
So a thing to note here, as Steve is typing this in, the forms that are in the app already, you'll notice they're all in caps. And if he does them all in caps, his will show up all in caps. And if not, it won't. So it is case sensitive. And so you may or may not want to do it in all caps.
You better believe it. Once you have that name typed, we say create. What that does is it creates us now a workspace. This is a workspace with the name Safety Violation Demo. Don't be afraid if it doesn't say the name that we just keyed in, it is right there. The first thing I'm going to do first is go to a form title. This is the title that's going to show up right here. And I'm going to type that safety violation right now. Safety violation. Very good. I'm going to type that in right now. And with that in mind, the other field is this. This field is a database field. It helps track the individual entries that we make. Very important. It's also very important here. And one thing I want everybody to remember, we cannot duplicate field names. So we are naming this, the name of our label, if you'll see right up here, safety name is safety violation. I here choose to name this field test 1. Why do I do that? Because this is a test, I'm merely naming, but the importance here is it must be a unique name, that field name to everything, because it enters it into a database. Now I'm going to go here. What this size references is the box that this thing is in. So whether it's a small box, a medium box, or a large box, this is what it dictates. I know this is a large box for us. I'm going to say create. If you'll notice here that I've got this safety box right here and it shows up here. Now, I know it's going to look a little unusual to most people out there because this is really a unique system that we've built here. But you'll see the blessing and the beauty of it as we get going. And as you can see on your phone, Rick, will you scroll up and down here on your phone here just to show the folks? As you can see, there is no side-to-side scrolling. Because of the way we have designed the form, and as we get going, I'll show you, the form is a linear model. So that means your guys are only scrolling down. We can enter the information and keep scrolling down. It takes them a lot less time. They're not zooming in and out.
It's mobile friendly.
You've probably opened up a PDF on your phone and had to deal with that madness.
Yes, exactly. So this is very, very user friendly.
All right, so with that in mind, I'm going to go to the next field. The next field we want is an input field. The input fields are text or talk to text. This particular one I'm going to put in as employee name. And with employee name, I'm going to come down here. I know this happens to be my second, test 2. It's going to be my second field name. This particular one is a medium box. Now this one here, this particular box, as I've added it here, as you can see, can you see that box here? It is above safety violation, which is my label or my title. I am going to grab that box and move it up. Do you see that, Rick?
Yep.
Well, what happens?
You've repositioned it.
I absolutely can. I want to make sure that everybody knows every field that I enter here can be repositioned. We can move the fields around at any time during the creation process, and even after it saves.
Yes, you can edit it and go back and make the changes.
Absolutely right. I'm going to do this now. I'm going to go over. I've created one. I'm going to create one more text, one more input field. That input field is going to be a violation date, I believe. Yes, it is. I'm going to put a violation date. I'm going to call this S3. Now that is, again, another medium box. I'm going to add that in there. Now that's going to go above. Oh, it's going to go on the side.
So notice too, you see the edit and the remove button. So once you put them in, if you wanted to remove that, you can. And if you decide after looking at it, you wanted to change the size, you can hit that edit and go back into that field and choose a different size if you wanted to.
You bet. Now, I want to make sure you know these fields that are input fields and text fields are all talk to text.
Yes.
So Rick, would you please show us real quick on the phone here?
Yes.
Give us an idea of what it is.
Steve Crawley.
As you'll notice on your screen right now, it did a talk to text. So one of the powerful things we really like about this option is your people don't have to text or type. So, you know, if you've got fingers like mine, Rick, like small
sausages.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on sausages. But the point being is, if you've got somebody that's going through with gloves on, somebody that's maybe even dirty, they don't have time to type. And by the way, some of these phones, Rick, are not as big as other phones.
And not only that, sometimes you might question somebody's spelling, so this makes it nice too.
It makes it, yeah, believe me, Siri has made one or two bad things. Uh-oh. Hold on, we have a slight dilemma.
I think that's on the web.
Give us just a minute.
While he's doing that, I'm going to continue filling out a little bit of this form here. It looks like it's on the website. It's not going to be on this side, Steve. It looks like you may have opened another tab accidentally there and gone to something that you didn't really want.
Sorry about that, guys. Systems are very complicated. I don't know what I'm pushing. But so here's my point. My point is this. With talk to text, it allows you to be able to fill out forms and be able to do it without having to worry about typing, without having to worry about spelling. And it does a very good job. Siri is not a perfect.
Well, that's true.
But it does a pretty good job with the job sites. I want to get to another type of box selection. This is select box. The select box option is really cool, and I'm going to put in here. This is shift. The shift and this box here is a medium box as well. Now, this particular option here allows me to key in different pull-down options, like one is morning, right? One is afternoon.
Nope. Next tab.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Rick. Things are going so crazy. Morning. The next one is afternoon.
Part of it's in you.
Everything's in there. Thanks, Rick. That is so handy. Eve. Let me see.
It's night.
Is it night?
Yes.
Could have been evening, Rick.
Could have been evening.
It could have been evening. Don't tease me. All right. So morning, afternoon, and night. Now, what this is going to do is produce a box. Now, Rick, do you have that? You have that option there where you can show them?
So it's basically, you'll see it's giving you this pull down. So you've got multiple choices, but you can only give one selection. So in this case, I'm going to go with afternoon and hit done. And you'll see that the afternoon is now populated in there.
So when we talk about the ability to have pull down boxes here, and I'm going to shift that around. When we talk about the ability to do that, this also eliminates the need for him to even talk to text now.
Right.
Especially when some forms have such limited answers.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So that is the beauty of that button. Now, of course, that pull down menu is a one choice and one choice only option. So what I'm going to do,
rather than having all the options list on there, it keeps it more concise, and you just hit the drop down and make your selection.
Absolutely, Rick. Now, what I'm going to do now is demonstrate a radio button for you. I'm going to demonstrate what this radio button is. What we're going to do is this one talks about injuries as a result of violations. Oh, yeah, right. There it is. So I've got injuries as a result of violations. I'm going to put in my field name. Now, remember, field names all have to be different.
Yes.
I don't use the name of the label name, Rick, because sometimes that just gets real long for a
sometimes, well, in some case, you may have two comment boxes. So you might have a label that you're using twice, but the field name would need to be different.
Absolutely right.
And if you're building a different form, you can reuse a field name. But in each field, in each form itself, each field needs its unique
Name.
field name
Without spaces.
without spaces and without caps.
You better believe it. So with that in mind, and by the way, this one here has a cap. The bottom line is, even if we type in a cap, Rick, it'll decap it.
Okay.
It'll decap it. It's awful. What an awful name. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just key in, because this is a yes. This is either a yes or a no.
So in this case here, this is basically similar to the field he did previously, where you're having choices, but this might be where you have fewer choices, like yes and no. And if you see here on the phone, it's listing both of them. You're not bringing a drop down. And again, you'll see I just checked yes here as soon as it populates.
So if you can see here, there it is right there, guys.
Now I switch to no, and you'll see that as soon as it catches up to me here, it's going to switch it to a no. There, it switched it to a no. I can't check both.
Obviously. So the beauty is this: like the select box with the pull-down menu, injuries as a result of violations or the radio buttons allow you to see all the buttons at the same time. You only get to choose one, but allows you to see them all at the same time. Kind of cool, right? Now I'm going to give you one more. It looks like we're going to also add a signature pad. Well, we've got a couple of text areas.
We've got a checkbox to do.
Do we have? We do have a checkbox. Thank you, Rick. Checkbox. Now, checkbox is much interesting. Now, there are a lot of situations where we get into it where we've got to actually enter in multiple things, right?
And in this case, you may be at yes. It's not an either or. It may be several
Select
options.
all, right?
So I'm going to go ahead and hit a few of these.
So what I'm going to do is go down here and say large. Now, here's the beauty of the select all. I can start typing in things like safety glasses, right? I'm going to go down here and hit this. I'm going to go safety vest. Click here. I'm going to put in hard hat, right? In fact, here's the point. It only gives you 3 at the start point, but I can hit that button and add as many options to this as I want.
Or you could click the X to the right and delete options. If you only had 2, because like you said, you start with 3 by default.
Absolutely. I'm gonna enter in a couple of more here, Rick. And that way we have a good list here that we can look at. I think we've got some in there. And we'll just do another for laughs and giggles.
There you go.
So here I've got my form ready to go. Now that form it always puts it towards the top. I'm going to move that bad boy right down here to the bottom, so it's the last one here, as you can see. So as you can see on our list right now, I have a form that's starting to take pretty good shape here. Now I'm going to put in another text area. This text area again is all it is.
You can use it for comments or whatever. So in this case, we put it as a comment in case you clicked other, and you might put in the comment of whatever it was. Let me go ahead and I'll do a speech to text while he's typing here.
You bet.
Employee was using power tools without protective equipment.
Okay. So one of the things we're trying to show you here is the form builder only has to be done once on most of your forms. It's easy to edit these fields. So if I look at this safety violation form, if I look at this form right here and go, all right, we need to add another box to this, I can actually click the edit button and add or take away another button. The bottom line for us is we want you to, and we have a little bit over the web here. It seems a little long. We will let you know that as you're sitting at your computer whipping these things out in your phones, it's going to be real snappy.
Yeah, this whole form would be done in less than 5 minutes.
Absolutely, if we weren't going over and over it. The bottom line here is it's going to be a benefit to you, because here's the point. As you're walking through your work sites, as you're walking through your manufacturing fields, as you're walking through whatever business that you have, even any kind of business, if you've got papers, they may not make it back, they get dirty, they may not have a lot of different problems.
Exactly.
This will allow you and your people to take a smartphone, tablet, go through wherever you work and fill out forms that will require a signature on them and a name, especially on the violation form. And here's one thing I'm going to put in. I'm going to put in a corrective action button. Let's get that in here real quick. I'm going to go up to the top and put in one more area. and we're going to put in a corrective action label.
And while he does that, let me do a speech to text. Wrote up and retrained employee.
Now, corrective action, I'm going to move that down to the bottom. We want that to be right there. And then let's just say this. That is a text field. Let's just say I want a box, Rick, where my employee that I found is having some issues with safety, safety concerns. I'm going to have them sign this form.
Yes.
Because you've already listed their name
right.
of the person. I'm going to have them list this here. So I'm going to put here employee signature.
So something important to note is by default, every form already comes with a place for the person who's submitting the form to type in their name, just like a lesson, and a signature. And it does not show up here on this form. You don't see it.
That's a very good point.
It's there by default. What Steve is doing here is he's adding an additional signature box for the employee that we caught doing a violation.
Now, that's a very good point. And you're probably going to want to ask us, why do we do that to all the forms? Because of the common login that the employee login is for all our customers, to make it very easy for us. What we have required for all our forms is someone to put in their name and signature.
Yes.
That way, with their signature, we can tell who it is and whether it's legitimate complaint. Now, here's the one other thing that we've got. We've got the check boxes. We've got the signatures. We're looking really good right now, Rick.
Yep.
So, and by the way, the one thing we haven't said is also automatic. And we'll talk about that later in a minute. But now that I have my form, understand this, that you don't have a save button. There is no button that says save. Why? Because every time I click a new box, the system saves automatically. If you were to just walk away right now and the system timed you out, your form would be saved.
Yes.
So there's no need for you to worry about hitting save or do any of that right now. Now, as you'll notice on this form here that Rick's got, he's got the corrective action. Rick, will you sign there? In fact, I better sign, right?
Well, yes, we're going to let you sign.
It's awful.
So this is actually a great tool. Let's say you're the supervisor out on the dock and you walk by and you see old Steve here and he's working with his drill and he is doing something unsafe, and I pull out this app here and I go to this form and I instantly go here to the capture photo. And there I have just captured Steve's photo, which it's going to add here to it. I've filled out the rest of the form. I walk over to Steve. I tell him that he's being written up. I'm going to do a safety lesson with him, talking to him about using his personal protective equipment. I then am going to sign the form that I have filled it out. And as you see here, now, my name pops up.
You bet. Now, so Rick, I love that. See, as you start typing your name, nobody types their whole name. Every time you start typing in any of our forms, whether it's signing off on a lesson or the forms, everybody that is loaded in as an employee will pop up automatically. Rick, you have your photo there of a very handsome man. You've now just successfully, oh boy, that was Speedy Gonzalez right there.
So that fast, I have just, from taking that picture, I filled out the form, got Steve's signature, hit send, and it is now back at your client admin.
Okay, so there's two things I'm gonna let you know a little bit about what happened there. Rick is in the field, whether he's at a job site, whether he's out in the mill, whether he's in the factory floor, or whatever he's at. But he's remote with his phone or tablet. He's now done that. Now, I am an administrator. I am the administrator over the GotSafety system for Company X, or in this case, Cedar City Prints. Well, I may not always be next to my computer when safety violations or, quite frankly, any forms are sent. There's two things that happen to make sure that an administrator or people that should know get to know that there is a form being sent. One, yes, an email is sent to the administrator stating to them. Now, I have no way of demoing that. I'd have to have my email up, Rick, but I can guarantee you I received that email with your form attached.
Yes.
The PDF is attached to the email. Now, the other way to do that is here under form.
Before you do that, Steve, let's go back to the form builder and show them your form and how they can attach their logo to it.
Great. Good point, Rick. I'm going to go here. Now, I want to make sure you know this.
That's the first one. Yeah. Yours is below it.
That's okay. So if you'll notice, here's a form that we've got. It's a safety violation form. It looks fantastic, right? Everything's right here. Well, now I'm going to go back to that form. We're going to go back, and I'm going to go here and add. We're going to add, and as you'll notice here, do you see the GotSafety logo? That GotSafety logo could be your logo,
yes.
Company X logo, whatever it is. Once you've downloaded or you've browsed to your computer's drive, you've uploaded this file, then you can choose where do you want it to be placed. We want it top center, and then I'm going to submit that. What that will do, as you can see, is it will place that safety violation or that logo at the above of that safety violation. So that's a great point, Rick.
Yes.
That logo really helps customize that form to your company. Now, Rick,
you can see the logos right there, even when I open it up on the app.
Absolutely. So when your people open this up, either on the desktop, and yes. They can fill these forms out, by the way, on the desktop, just yes. the same. If I were to go to our desktop right here, and I logged in under Forms, and then from Forms, and those forms came through. Sorry about that. It's been a while since I logged in. Forgive me there. I'm going to log in, and with that in mind, now that I go to Forms, when I am there, you'll notice that under Safety Violation Demo Form that we have created, our logo shows up right there, as well as the name of your company. Now, of course, our logo and the company don't match, Rick.
Right.
But that's just because
this is just a demo.
It's just a demo site. All right, with that in mind, I wanted to show you how that looks even on the desktop, because I can fill this form out really nice. As you can see, I'm checking the boxes. Everything works. Even if I go down to the bottom, I can actually browse to a photo I took with my camera. Maybe I have a camera.
You emailed it to yourself, right, or whatever.
Or maybe I have a camera that I saved to a memory stick or a memory card I can throw into my computer. I can still add the picture. I can still sign this form. I can still do all the great things that yes. we all love about the forms. But let me get back to our administrator.
Yes.
Once that form is sent in, we go into the submitted safety forms, administrators. And once we go into there, I can hit date and search on, oh, look at that. Safety violation demo. Employee's name was Rick Roman who said it. And there's the time and date. Well, let's take a look at this bad mama jama. How bad could it possibly be, Rick? I mean, how bad?
Got to click on the link there.
We got to click on the link. All of a sudden, there's our safety form. You'll notice a couple of things. There's our safety logo. There's our violation name. And then as we go down, I see the date things. Rick, you didn't put a date.
Thank heavens.
I love that. This guy's signature is awful. Boy, that man is a good-looking man. But that is not safe, Rick.
That is not safe.
Drills are not ear cleaners.
No, they are not.
Okay, well, that's something we got to work on. But as you can see with our report, this PDF then goes to you. Now, this PDF went to the second page. The the system will automatically paginate any form that's going to the second page when needed.
Right, because you may have several comment fields, and who knows, somebody may be doing a speech to text, a paragraph or two, and it could get lengthy.
We have customers that go that have simple one-pagers to 3 and 4 pages.
Yes.
That's the reason why that page numbering is so important.
Yes.
It's dynamic and works with you. So, Rick, from our standpoint, everybody, doing these forms, I believe is going to do two things for you. Doing these forms is going to be two things for you. One, the safety forms will allow you to put the needed documents out there your people can see. And I mean documents that they're currently doing right now. The cost of printing those forms, the cost of storing them, how do we keep them nice, that kind of thing. These things will allow them to be paperless, Rick. And that's the perfect thing. So with that in mind, Rick, I think we're good to go.
That's pretty much on the training end. We're going to look through some of these questions that we have here, answer some questions. Of course, we're going to have our big contest for the smoker here in just a few minutes. In fact, did you want to go ahead and do that first, and then we'll get to let's do that after.
Questions. We do it after the questions.
We'll do it after the questions. All right, let's switch back over here, and we'll take a look at some of your questions here, answer what questions that you might have, and I'll look through here, Steve, and you can tell me, okay. It says that's not a supervisor signature; it's an employee signature. Someone was saying, so there were two areas there. Explain how there were two areas.
Okay, so there are two. There's one default area. Okay, the default area is for the individual who is actually filling out the form. When they fill out that form, it's going to require their name, as you saw, Rick Roman, and their signature at the bottom. Now, the second signature that you noticed that was on top that we added will be for the person who is being told he's in violation.
Right.
Or that signature could be
a witness.
To something. The bottom line is we found so many situations where
they needed signature.
Somebody to have another signature. So that's what it is. Now, of course, the forms are made so that they can be interchangeable.
Yes.
That signature at the bottom can be a supervisor. If your company decides to implement this system with every employee having access to the employee login, which can work very well, then that means any employee, supervisor or not, can fill out that form when they see a dangerous area.
And like we said, that by default, every form, even though you don't see it in the builder, has a signature box in it and a place to enter the name of the person that's submitting the form. So we know who the form came from, and we can verify that to the signature.
That's absolutely right. Now, Rick, are there any more questions?
Oh, there are plenty of questions. So someone's asking if this is the same as the EEAP app.
Now, it is not. In fact, we consider this to be an upgrade to the EEAP app.
Absolutely.
Listen, the EEAP app, Rick, did some great things for us for a long time.
Yes.
And we're not here to disparage it in any fashion. But the GotSafety app has some very unique and modern qualities and more importantly, upgradability. So what happens is, as we work with you, our customers, to find out better ways to do things, maybe there are some options that you think could be out there and you give us that feedback. We want to make the product as great and as customized and as useful to you as possible. So
the reality is that when we built the EEAP app, the platform that it was built on did not allow for this type of expansion. And that's why Steve took on this project of just rebuilding this from the ground up. We do have it available as a national product. But for those of you in California on the EEAP system, it's a free upgrade if you're on our services. If you haven't received it yet, because it's taken us a while to integrate everybody, feel free to contact us, call the office, email rick@eeap.net, and we'll move you to the front of the line and get you set up. But this is a free upgrade for anybody who's already an EEAP client.
Incredible deal.
Great.
Any other questions, Rick? Because we are going long on time.
Yes. Okay. Can we take videos? There's no videos.
Now, real quick, with regards to videos. Oh, no, sorry. No, we haven't gotten that. It's hard to get that video working. We've got videos in other areas of our GotSafety platform, but not here.
Asking about passwords, Steve. How do they get their password to get in?
Oh, first of all, if you're on an EAP client and you want to come over from the EAP website to the GotSafety, please call the office and ask to be transferred over to the GotSafety system. We will not only get your information, your company name, we will get you your passwords, we'll get you hooked up.
Yes.
But please call us. We want to know now. Slowly but surely, we're working through all our customers to bring you all over because it's a huge upgrade for those California EEAP-based clients. If you are not an EAP client and just heard about our webinar, or you know somebody else who's just heard about, please have them go to gotsafety.com. Go there, find the sign up button. It's right there at the top next to all the other logins.
Yep.
Sign up for the service. We'll take care of you.
And you'll create your own username and password.
Create your own. Very nice.
Back to the entering employees. Someone's asking about how you recommend sorting employees with multiple locations. So we talked about you might use that as a prefix to their employee name. Maybe maybe a 3-letter abbreviation to the city or a store number, and then that way everyone who starts with that store number will come up in that order.
That's an incredible reason. Now let me just tell you this, Rick, because you and I are close and it's just amongst us girls. Let me tell you what we've got a module coming out, Rick.
Yes.
It'll be out in about a month or so, and what it will allow us to do is have what we call our corporate entity structure. And that corporate entity will be able to have one head with several branches going out. I know my hands are, I talk with my hands. But the point is, it'll be able to support not only autonomous branches to the corporation, but allow you to key those employees and have totally separate locations for your one organization. So very cool. It's coming out in about a month. Till then, we suggest you put alphanumeric characters that designate a location. So that's a great way to go.
Okay, let's see. When will the details be sent for meeting next week. Not sure exactly what you're talking about there, but we will be having more webinars to teach on some things next month.
That's fantastic. That's like from our local staff. we may want to read those before you read them out loud. The bottom line is we have webinars all the time. We would love to have an email from you. If you have our email address, or even go to eap.com, you're able to put in just a request there that says, hey, webinar topics would be great if we did one on this or on that. Or please call in and give us an idea. Any other thoughts, Rick?
That's all the questions we have right now. I'm hoping that we tried to lay out pretty much all the answers as we explained, but just know that we are always here. Steve is here in the office. If you have questions, if you need help being walked through any of this, we are happy and we are here to help you and make sure this goes smoothly for you.
Absolutely. Now again, call us, but more importantly, we want to get right to you. We want to get to why most of you are still hanging on.
Yes, it's time for the great trivia question. Remember, it's the first person to call in. You must call in to our number, 800-734-3574. Answers over the chat will not be accepted. Here is the question. Who is the president of EEAP?
Oh, my goodness, Rick. That is a tough one. A brain stumper. It's crazy.
So it should be a race here. Someone should be calling us here soon and hopefully have the answer to win this wonderful Green Mountain Grill smoker. And you are going to love this thing. We'll UPS it straight out to your office or home.
Who is the president of EEAP?
Yes, 800-734-3574.
I believe
someone must have the answer.
And Rick, I believe there are extra points. I believe there are extra points if they call in and tell us, do you think he's good looking? It's important. Hold on for a minute. Hello there. Do we have a winner? Yes, sir.
It's Michael Crawley. He's the president, correct?
Michael Crawley is the president.
Yes.
And I'm afraid, did you hear our second question? Do you think he's good looking?
Do I think he's what?
Do you think he is good looking?
I think he's a highly attractive young man.
Holy smokes! And that's an unsolicited comment, I mind you. Oh, sir, if you'll hold on, I'll transfer you to our prize desk.
All right, well, it looks like we got ourselves our winner here, and our work looks to be done, Steve, until next month, where we will be going over some of the other functions, and we'll do probably one or two more of these to get through the basic things.
Right.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. We also have GotSafety Facebook and Instagram. So,
and one of the things, Rick, this was a fire hose, everybody.
Yes.
We really dumped a lot of data down, but please feel free to call us if you have any questions.
And you're going to get the replay link, and it will be on YouTube as well. And that way you can have everything you need to be able to stop this and pause and get to the spot.
Absolutely.
But anyway, thanks so much for coming. And thank you for being clients of EEAP and GotSafety.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.